Let's go. Let's go. Higher and higher. You did feel me with holy fire. Everybody sing along. Higher.
Good evening and welcome to my favorite show ever, Common Sense for Relationship. Woo-hoo! My name is Yoma Algidiama, and today I will be your host. We're going to be talking about something very juicy. So if you are listening, please do not change that dial. Send this link to other people, send it to your friends, like we say, send it to your enemies, send it to your
X.
send it to your
Your
neighbors,
crush. Your crush.
exactly. So send it to as many people as you can send it to. We always talk sense for relationships, and there's always incredible value for your time spent with us. I have some very interesting people in the house. We have something very, 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 very special we're going to be talking about. So I want to introduce my people in the house. They have a lot to unpack. So welcome to the show. Why are you looking at me like that? Who's introducing first? Yeah.
Oh, me?
Yes, KJ.
All right. I'm the favorite face here. My name is Kingsley. When I say it, people laugh. Why? Because the next thing now they will attack my beardlessness. But anyways,
KJ, you'd
I'm
have
still-
helped yourself. You didn't
no, I have to
bring
say it
that
first
out.
before Uche brings it up.
Can't shame-
Yes.
shameless.
Can't shame be shameless. Anyways, I'm your favorite face here. My name is Kingsley Oluwatobiloba. It's nice being here.
Hello, sir. Can you
You say
introduce
that, sir.
yourself?
Hello, ma'am. So my name is Uche Emmanuel Ihonye. It's good to be here. Thank
It's
you.
good to have you guys here. And we have some very special people in the house today. They are our mentors.
Our ancestors.
They have been married for how many years? Is it 17? 17 years, right?
17?
17,
Going to
18.
18.
Going to 18.
We're pushing
Wow.
we're pushing 18 as it is,
Mm.
right? So we don't just listen to just like people that don't know what they're saying.
I
You
mean,
know what I'm
18
saying?
is a legal age. That means in relationship and married, they are
marriage-
adults.
They're adults.
Wow.
It's adult relationship. So I would like to introduce the Bature.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Yoma. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here. It was one of those tiring days, but yeah, we
dragged you here.
Yes, we got to do. A man's got to do what a man's got to do. That's part of our problem.
Yes, and my name is Anietie Bature. I am the wife of Kingsley Bature,
That's me.
the mother of his children. Yes, I'm
KJ can relate.
certified,
KJ can
yeah.
relate.
You literally took that out of my mouth. Why?
You're not the only single person
KJ
here.
can't relate.
You're my single too.
KJ
You're
can't
cannot
relate.
relate. Okay, no problem.
Don't worry,
So
KJ,
you
you'll
cannot
get
just
there.
enter inside your this thing by
I have to
yourself.
drag you along now. Am I the only single person here?
So I think since she's single and you're dragging her, you guys can actually become the mother of the
I
other
kind
person's
of-
2 children.
I kind of had
Sorry,
a
I'm
feeling
using
that
two
Uche
as
was
a
going
standard
to.
because that's the least number we have here.
See, why? Ah, God, Uche.
It's okay. I mean, they're not
I
talking.
kind of had a feeling.
Yeah.
That he was going to go there, right? But we'll make cute babies actually, if that was supposed to happen.
I agree. He's being vulnerable, actually. I don't know.
Oh, so you see the issue?
Okay,
I was already like saying, okay, what's
He
the
already
saying?
told me
And then he has
behind
turned
his
it to
scene that
sarcasm.
he actually likes you. Now, you saw how he almost.
You see?
He was invasive earlier today.
Evidence.
That's not the
Evidence.
look of a man
There
that
is
likes a
evidence.
Just
woman.
say it
How
how
do
you
you not
feel
do-
it.
Where's the ring? Okay, propose. I'll say yes.
I
Propose.
should
Where's the
propose.
ring?
The problem, that's the problem. We cannot propose on live stream. Do you understand? Maybe after this thing, we'll do the proposal.
Back to the batteries. I think they are still introducing.
You see, are we introducing? I mean, I kind of like the way the show is going already, because today is an interesting day. It's an interesting topic that we're talking about. Last week, we had the conversations, and this week, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And the fact is, in our in our culture, and not just in our culture, I think it's in a lot of cultures. Men are expected to be, strong.
Mhm.
Don't cry.
Mhm.
Don't wear your emotions on your sleeves.
Mhm.
You're a man,
Mhm.
bear it in stride and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And, this whole facade that men have built around themselves, sometimes it serves as a shield, yeah. But in some other cases, it serves as a prison because
Yeah.
it's crazy to be locked in like that. I mean, as a woman, I cannot imagine having to bottle everything. Guy, I don't even think I'll be able to survive 3 days of bottling things in.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, those emotions have to come out, but men have dealt with for years and years and years having to keep a lot in. And even when they get into marriages and their wives are saying, hey, I'm a safe space, feel free to,
Yeah.
be vulnerable with me, it's quite a challenge.
It's quite a
So,
challenge because somehow when we do those things, society kind of is not really forgiving to men who do those things because we are taught to be protectors, we are taught to be providers, we are taught to be problem solvers.
Mhm.
Do you understand? But who teaches a man how to be human?
Mm.
You understand? So I think with
Yeah.
that we can say welcome to this episode of Common Sense for Relationship.
Mm.
Help. I'm a man.
Yeah.
Yoma,
Okay.
over to you.
So I'm actually really excited about this topic because last week the women were crying. They were complaining. They were saying that the men are not showing up the way that they expect the men to show up. And I feel like if we can actually unpack this, it will help. It would free them up to be able to really, really be human. And then maybe when they're human enough, they can love us the way that we want them to love, the way we want to be loved. So yeah,
Hmm.
Hmm.
yeah, very emotional about this. So I want to ask KJ
Oh
first.
God.
The reason why I'm doing this on this show, we don't hide. We say everything as it is right here on the set. So the reason why I'm really, really like picking on KJ is because I feel like KJ is kind of closed up as a human being.
Wow.
So
Wow.
KJ, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So when was the last time you
Eh?
cried? When last did you cry? I'm going right in. I'm not even. When last did you cry?
Why you laughing? I hope you know that I'm not the only man here.
No, no, no.
It's how
Uche is kind of a little vulnerable with me.
It's how
So
KJ heard when was the last time,
Sir.
and then it's all being defensive already.
That's the man in him. That's the man in him.
KJ, when last
KJ,
did
please,
you
when last-
cry?
Why is it that why is that question the first question you ask? When
Because we have to dive into it. Because
the
we
last
need to
time
know
the last time I
what
Someone
the
has to
problem
start,
is.
KJ.
Why you are single? We need to unpack these things.
the last time I
When
cried
last did
was
you
in the
cry?
cave of Adulam. But okay, to be serious, when was the last time I cried? In my room, I think that was a couple of. Do I call it cry? Yeah, maybe. Tears didn't come out. Like literal tears did
When
not
was
come
that?
out. That was last week. This is Thursday, right? Yeah, that was last week. Now I'm being vulnerable. You should
You
applaud.
actually cried.
No, tears didn't come out, but I was
We're broken.
broken.
Did you let it out? Did you let your emotions out?
I don't know how to
KJ,
do
I
that.
need you to be honest. Did you let those feelings out?
But he just answered. He doesn't know
So
how to
you
do
were
that.
broken. Did you was it because sometimes PK, sometimes
Mhm.
people feel things that will make them want to cry.
Mhm.
Okay, I remember when my dad passed on, my brother needed to cry. We're looking for this boy. He had entered into the guest bathroom. Like, bro, somebody died. Like, it's okay, you can cry. So that's why I'm
Never be
asking
caught
him.
on fresh.
Did he really give full expression to his feelings, or were they just feelings that he was aware of? That's why I'm asking him that.
So there were feelings I was aware of, but I didn't give it full expression because I don't know how to give full expression to that.
Thank you for being vulnerable. Right.
Man.
So I want you to.
Why
I'm sorry. I'm still coming for Mr. Uche. Don't
Okay.
think that he
No.
has
Keep
escaped.
the question.
So
coming.
I want you to. I have a lot of questions for you, Shakeji Sha.
No problem.
Okay, so I want you
I'm
to.
ready.
I want you to tell us about a relationship, a dating relationship, where you were 100% vulnerable?
Ah.
Because I don't know.
You may have to reduce that percentage. Oh.
Ask him 20 years from now. He
You,
may have
you may have to reduce that percentage.
Okay, let me come back.
Try like
Let
60
me ask
or
the question
70.
well.
Oh
Pedro,
my God, don't make me cry.
when was the last time? When was the most vulnerable relationship you have been in with a woman? And how was that? So you give us the percentage because obviously we're not getting 100%.
Okay, so I'm going to. In fact, you know what? Let's
Safe
be real.
space.
Let's be real, right? My very first relationship was my most vulnerable relationship, and that's because it was my first time. It was my first time in the dating scene. I did not understand a lot of things about love. As far as I was concerned, what I needed to do to keep the relationship was to be faithful, right? Don't cheat. Don't have another girlfriend. Love the person. Give the person everything you have, both materialistic, your time, and all of that. And I did that. Now, having done that, she still broke up with me and went to date someone else. So this was my first time experiencing heartbreak. Like, before now, the only thing that makes me cry is when my dad flogs me. The only thing that makes my hand shake is when I've not eaten for days. But on this particular day, there was food literally in front of me.
Your hands were
Wasn't you
shaking.
know those stories?
Yes, it was. And
You were shaking.
my hands were shaking. So I didn't understand. It was a whole lot happening at the same time. Okay. And at that moment, I came to the point where I needed to make a decision. Do I let it all out or do I suck it in? Do you understand? And I had my guy there with me. So I knew at the back of my mind, I couldn't let it all out. Otherwise, I'll be seen as a sissy. Weak. But deep down, my walls were scattered. When I mean scattered, they were broken down, dust, like grounded to powder. But I couldn't let it out. It's not a nice place to be. I'm not going to lie. Now, let me tell you what the point where I let it out. I was still claiming the whole tough guy stuff until 2-3 days later, I went to visit a group of friends who had heard that I had broken up with the girl they warned me about. Because they had warned me about the girl and told me to break up with the girl, that the girl was not faithful and all of that. But I was blinded by love and all of that, you get.
Blinded by love.
And
Hashtag.
I got to their house. I didn't know it was a trap. They lured me in. And like, hey, KJ, come. So I entered the place. The guy that followed me, immediately I entered, they just locked the door. Chakam. Next thing I saw everybody with belts. She will tell you, make you not date that girl, you know, agree here. The Koboko, they flogged me inside the house.
For you?
I'm not joking.
Your friends?
Yes.
Which kind of friends?
They whip.
They were cultists.
They whip.
Did you cry at that point?
That was where the tears came out.
Wow.
But then it felt like I was reacting to the pain.
But it was actually
But
released.
it was
Emotional.
an emotional one. I went back home and cried the real tears. Like,
Wow.
I let everything. And at that moment, it took me. What I'm saying did not just happen in
This
a
thing
week
sounds
or
like
two,
a movie or something.
a month. No, it took me like, this thing happened October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May to totally get over it.
I need to say something at this point.
That's like 7 months.
Yes, I need to say something at this point. You know, it like my wife said, it sounds like a movie, but this actually is the reality of most men, because that incident provided an opportunity for him to do what we call a replacement, right? He needed to let out an emotion, but if he actually did let it out, ordinarily he would have been called weak. But his friends whipping him, he's able to take that emotion and release it, and people will say, oh, he's crying because his friends were whipping him, but he was actually crying because he's broken down. It opened something to me which is real for most men. The fact that somewhere inside we have been trained to keep things bottled up and to only open up and express when it is something that can be physically or societally acceptable as what should make a man cry. So physical assault looks like is a more acceptable reason to cry than emotional heartbreak. So if a man is crying for physical assault, they say, maybe that guy beat him well, or maybe the way they beat him, yeah. But if a man is crying because a woman broke his heart, you will hear something like, "Oga, man up, na normal thing." But that man up is actually saying, push it down and build more walls and pretend like it really isn't that serious. But what we find out is that we keep doing the same things, and men are getting disconnected from their emotions, and then the women are wondering why they are not able to be affectionate and treat them like they ought to be treated.
So on this issue of masking emotions and stuff like that, I remember a story I heard of a guy who really, really wanted to let out all the emotions he had bottled up. And he was looking for a safe space. And where he went to was a football match. Because he knew that men cry freely in football matches. And it would be like, oh, this is passion for the game. Right? So that was his own. But just looking at if it were a lady going through that situation, in fact, that same day, you're likely going to find a spot to sit down and cry your eyes out.
You even have associate
You call your
criers.
friend, yeah.
That's exactly what that. Do you then need to
Yeah.
even look for a spot to actually let it out?
As in, the friends will come and they will cry
Like
together.
you
And
call
it's,
your friends, they'll get you ice cream, they'll validate your emotions for you.
Right.
Validate emotion.
My goodness.
You know that's
That's where men are came from. It's
So,
part of the
be-
validating of.
So KJ. Sorry, I still
No.
want to unpack this
no problem.
this
Unpack.
whole experience.
I'm
'cause,
here.
There was this part of the story where you were talking about the fact that you were with your friend. I've been with my friend, like I've been with my friend for some weeks now, and
Okay.
one of the things that I've really enjoyed is the fact that we get to share our innermost feelings, like even things that we did not know were there. As we're together, she's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. We're just, and it's nice. So it beats my imagination, right? That you were actually with your friend. And that was in that place where you could have felt better because you had someone you were even still hiding. So can you please explain to me, like, where did that culture of socializing, and rather than coming together to, like, support each other emotionally, it's now even the avenue where you mask your emotions.
So
Where did that come from?
I said last week on the show that when it has to do with the topic of vulnerability, even the men do not create safe space for us to
For each other.
you get. And what I meant by that is what I'm about to explain. So maybe it's not for every guy, but it's what I have experienced. Okay, when a group of men advises their fellow man on something and he does otherwise, and the thing go casts, don't come back. Right now, I think I've come to terms with that.
toughened
Yeah,
up.
told you moment.
Yes, I told you they're not gonna answer you. In fact, right, they won't beat you now. Of course, they won't. But nobody go answer you. But if it was something you told them before now, like, bro, this is what I'm going through, man. I don't like this. I don't like that. Oh, you are sure to get some sort of covering, community, and all of that. But if they tell you, they told you don't go ahead, don't do it, and you go ahead to do it, and the thing casts, just
Yeah,
keep it.
So
But you see, for the ladies, I think if that happens for you ladies, you can still come to the group of ladies and like, oh, I messed up. I know I did.
Why?
The
My
ladies,
darling, it's okay.
Nah, not like that for us.
So, but KJ, so was that why you were unable to, like, express how you felt in that moment? Because the guy was probably among the people that warned you against that.
Yes, actually. In fact, I didn't say this when I was giving the story. That incident, that break that heartbreak and all of that got me to the point where I made a decision that never again.
These are the issues.
Never
see-
again.
These are the
you
issues
see-
are coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
These are the issues. These are the issues.
So this is where I was coming from, and this is
Yes.
just one instance. And everybody, every guy mostly, we have the several separate instances that made us to come to this never again point. Do you understand? And when I speak of it, if you look at it psychologically, there are three things that condition people. Number one is your education, which is your upbringing. Number two is your environment. Number three is a significant emotional experience, right? Those are all three E's that you can go away with. But those E's are the things that condition people. And for men, we are conditioned by this. Is in KJ's case, this was a significant emotional experience that conditioned him to never again. For some other people, it's the education, the upbringing. The moment you want to something happens and maybe somebody collected your ball and then you cry and go back home to your father. The kind of African response, the response of an African father that you will get, you will crying becomes like a bad thing. Do you understand? Now, something happens, when you cry, you hear things like, be a man. Big boys don't cry. Do you understand?
Men don't cry.
Men don't cry. You understand? So all of those things are conditioning in your upbringing that makes it seem. So when it is something that you actually need to cry, because cry is a natural response. It's not designed, it wasn't designed to be a weakness. It was designed to be a natural response for release. But our culture, our society, and any of these three E's that I've mentioned shapes us in such a way that it's difficult for us to act in that natural response. Instead, we act in our conditioned response.
Wow.
And then when that happens, I feel like some men have been piling up a lot of their emotions from childhood, not even from when they meet
Exactly.
their significant other.
Exactly.
And then they now meet a girl. Because I feel like a guy who has had the opportunity to be expressive with his emotions, even if you meet a girl and things go wrong, I don't think that one situation is just going to change. Do you understand? But because he had already had that conditioning before, and then he now tries to, okay, let me even love someone, and then something now goes wrong. And the truth is, for very few humans, because we're humans and we live in a broken world, right? So it's difficult to just, the first girl you just meet is going to be right.
Yeah.
So it's actually normal for you to meet a girl, right? And things will go wrong and you might end up getting hurt because like you're now learning human beings, learning relationship. But I've now seen that men, when that kind of thing happens to them,
A bottle up.
because of the pile up from where they were coming, that's like a culmination. And they're like, you know what? And then even the girls that come after, they're just going to be paying the price for what their father
So let me
and their
let me throw this in as well. The way the society is, there is no place in the society, no time or no face in our
Journey.
growing up, in our journey, where we get an opportunity to have a safe space for the men. So it's like a well organized structure setup in the society where there's no place in your journey where you say, oh, when I get to this place, I will have some sort of safe space or an opportunity for me to be vulnerable. It doesn't happen. It's a continuous
From childhood, to boyhood, to teenager, to
it's not there. We don't have, let me tell you the truth. For men, we don't have it easy. Do you understand? We don't. Now, the sad part of it for me, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go a bit deeper. Okay. The sad part of it is that a lot of women, I said this in one of the shows, maybe I didn't articulate that well, but I'll say it again. A lot of we go into relationship, most of us, having at the back of our mind, or somewhere at the back of our mind, that this is like a safe space for me.
Mm.
This is where I can be myself. This is where I can rest.
Mm.
But we get there and we see expectations from the women. We not only see expectations from the women, we see that the women themselves are not
also
equipped-
broken.
and are broken, are not equipped to handle our vulnerability.
Yes. Yes.
Do you understand?
Mm.
So we came here with this expectation. We didn't say it. We most likely didn't say it. But when we come and we see this thing happening in the relationship, we just go back to our, all right, so yeah, I have to be a man. Okay. And we end up carrying, how do I put it? We end up being the father, catering for the lady's emotion, and nobody actually
Caters
for us.
So I was dating this guy, this incredible guy, amazing guy.
You've
He's
met
one
a
of the
lot
guys I've spoken about
Out
before.
there because
He's not a new guy, right? This guy was so good to me. Do you know that it was like maybe 3 years after the relationship, I just woke up and everything just played back, and I'm like, oh my God. Girl, what did you do?
You were not his safe space, right?
So yes, so there's this. Women need to be aware.
Oh,
That was when I realized that, oh my God, women need to be aware. Like, there's a way you just get so comfortable because someone is kind and nice and wonderful that you think it's all about you.
Ah. Yep.
I just I don't believe in regrets, so I moved on, but I'm like, girl, what did you do? So I can actually relate, right, with what you just said. But there's another part, right? I don't know whether I would say it as a question, but because after that, I now still one of the people I've spoken about,
Okay.
another person that I have spoken about before. And this time around, the person gave me that same kind of not environment, this covering, the masculine covering and everything. And oh my God, your girl was amazing because I had learned, right? So I now learned that, okay, I can be amazing. So I want to talk about that covering, right? That environment. What do you understand about the kind of environment that a man can bring? Because you need to understand the dynamics of relationship the way God intended, right? I say to people, there are different kinds of relationships. There's feminine relationship where it's a boy and a girl, a man and a woman, but they're like gay.
They are giving feminine energy.
There's masculine relationship. The two of them are on their jugglers.
Break the jugular.
Break the jugular.
Then there is masculine, feminine relationships,
Yes.
right? Which is what we're trying to speak about in the last meeting, where we're trying to say that women don't feel like men are coming in a way that gives them the capacity, right? Because if she's going to be your safe space, what kind of environment do you think she needs, right? And what do you think the impact? Because hearing you today, I just realized that sometimes the guys that were saying, oh, come correct, the father of the guys have already spoiled market for us.
From home.
So they're not coming correct because there's already like a lot
Their
of
definition
emotional-
of correct and your definition of correct are
It's
not the same.
It's not
It's not the same.
Yeah.
So
It's not
Kate,
talent.
seriously, like I have a question for you, Uche, by the way. Very important question.
I think
I want-
for
there's
me, I actually think this perspective you've brought, Uche that is a married guy,
Yes.
should actually bring
Yes.
this
Uche should
context.
bring this one.
This
Yeah,
context.
so
But-
what kind of
okay.
environment do you think that the men would, because like I said, this person I'm talking about, when the person started talking to me, I was not even looking at him. I probably text me and I will not notice. But he knew how to get my attention to the extent that at the end of the day, after the whole relationship scattered, we broke up, I didn't feel stupid when I reached out because there was this enablement. I felt safe in my feminine around him. So how can men that have grown up maybe with fathers or mothers that told them that, oh, you have to be a man, so you cannot, so they have like, because I noticed that you're very emotionally balanced, by the way. I don't know how.
Take your flowers. Take your
Because I
flowers.
was gonna ask
Take
you.
your flowers.
So when people like KJ are like, no, men don't hug men. You're like, I'm gonna hug you. So, how do you think that men who have, this kind of shaky emotional stability from the culture can be able to still come into a relationship and show up? Like, do you understand?
So basically, unfortunately, I might not give you the solution from the guys when they've grown. To be very honest, because just like you said, I used to tell people, my wife would tell you, like, there are things you say before her about me, and she'll like, he's not my husband. Because, and funny enough, the people outside, they're also correct when they think I am this hard. Don't approach me anyhow, kind of. Oh yeah, they are actually right. But with my wife and at home and with my inner guys, they know I can actually be soft and I'm in touch with my emotions. And that's because I think I must have even told you, I grew up with a father who would, in fact, my name in his phone till he passed was SAMH. And the day I saw it for the first time, I was like, Dad, what's this? Which one is this acronym? He was like, son after my heart. Yes. I was properly loved at home.
Properly.
And my dad would not send me a message without putting love you, son.
Hey,
Oh, wow.
he's not an African father.
He's
No offense.
He's somehow completely opposite to my mom when it comes to expressing how they feel towards me. And my dad being the male figure, it's meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's why I can tell even KJ, I can, even though I'll not tell him that I love him.
Love you.
I can.
Tell him that you love him.
He knows I can tell him, and he knows I do.
Let's leave it at that.
You get what? Being emotionally intelligent also involves
That's why you're
knowing when
still
you can say it
Exactly.
and to whom you can say it, even though you mean well, because sometimes it's not about your intentions.
Yeah.
It's about knowing
they'll
how it will
receive
be
it.
received out there.
Exactly.
So I have no issues. I have some of my friends that we chat and, hey, love you, man. I miss you. And it's not, I don't cringe at
KJ
that
can
at all.
relate.
You understand? That's because, again, I grew up with a father who did that with me till he passed. God bless his soul. So, meeting my wife, for example, in fact, one of the reasons I said it on this show before that I had thought I would never get married because I'm not ready to be fake with any human being. I'm not ready to be that man. If your definition of being a man is when I feel emotional, I have to bottle it up. I don't have that space. It will kill me. Literally, it will. So when I met my wife and after I was off relationship from 2014 to 2019, that's about 5 years. And within that space, I'd already like, you know what, whatever happens, worst case scenario, we'll do this surrogacy. And like, I wasn't big on it. You understand? But I met my wife and I had said it before. The first night we took a stroll, I can never forget. I asked her a very sensitive question and she was very honest with me. And then she asked some questions and I laid it all down. I laid it all down because number one, I could see that she is a very reasonable woman. Secondly, I'm not that guy that cares so much about what people say. So should she not be a reasonable person and she goes out there to like, can you imagine? Or maybe I cried on our first outing. I don't give 2 cents about that. I literally don't. You understand?
I love it.
No, it's true. Because the people I care about actually care about me. So the people I don't necessarily care about, their opinions don't weigh that much on me. So yes, coming back to my relationship, at least, not even at least, with anybody I had dated in the past, even the ones I didn't really love, I created the atmosphere where, just like you said, even till now, I still chat once in a while with some of them. They are married. When there's a problem or something, they've come to realize, I can actually talk to this guy and I won't be judged no matter what. I hate judgment. As I yesterday, I had a discussion with my wife and I stressed, I hate people judging people. That's because you're not perfect.
Yes, no
You
one
understand?
is.
And I make it clear in my way of, I think he's one of the people that can actually share that. But there's nothing you can tell me now that'll be like, woo. Nah, you won't be the first to do it. And all. So having all of these mindsets, I think naturally when you're around me, you feel the aura.
Safe.
That, I think there's a safe space here. I think I can be me and not be ashamed. So basically, that's what I think.
Yeah, I would like to pick it up from there. So I think it's important for people to realize that your relationship is what you make of it. You may meet somebody who is wonderful, but is closed off. If you just say, I beg, this guy is too hard, this one doesn't even open up, and you walk away, you will miss out. You might miss out on a lot. So I look at it like this: weigh the whole thing. Do you understand? Analyze this thing. I'm being very practical about it. Analyze this human being that you have found that has come into your life, and see this thing of him not opening up. Is it how much does it weigh compared to all these other wonderful things about him? And then let that guide you making the decision whether you will try to stay with him, to work with him, to start to open up. Maybe not to the whole world, but at least to you. And it's a journey. So I say that because if I use us as an example, my husband was like a closed book, right? Back then, he would say, I'm dealing with it, I'm handling it.
I'll sort it
You
out.
know, you don't need to worry about it. I'll be fine and stuff like that. And in my mind, I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? Well, I was there to stay. I had decided that I'm not going anywhere. With your opening up, whatever you're doing, Sha, just know that you need to be able to talk to me about it, right? Over time, just staying and letting him know it's okay. You can tell me. You know, just being patient. It requires patience because it's not going to happen overnight. He's not going to say, I can
True.
open up. And then you say, yes, you can open up, and then he will just become somebody who opens up. No, it will take time. So you have to walk with them through it and take the little wins. If he opens up about something small, yes, and it's not that the time he now says something, maybe the thing
You now use it as a weapon.
you now say, and then your expression makes it look like
Hey,
maybe you didn't mean what you said.
the
When
guy
you
was
said I should open up.
he
He
just
just goes
goes
back
back.
up.
Yes.
So you actually have to listen. Sometimes don't even say anything. Just listen, process it first, analyze it, think it over. What could have happened? How did this? You know, what was the setting? How much control did he have of this? Just analyze everything and actually put yourself in this person's shoes. You know?
Yeah, I want to take it up from there, right? You see, this thing that you have just done throws something into the works. Two things. For men, because of the consequence of being out there, with the consequence of losing respect, which you say he doesn't care, properly love. You understand? So he has a healthy self image, a healthy sense of self awareness. But a lot of men don't have that. There's also the problem of being misread. You say something, and then so that's why the guy is misread. And if you have it, if you haven't done your work as a guy to look at your identity and understand yourself, you're going to be troubled by being misread. If people misread you, you're always trying to impress everybody. There's also the fear of looking weak, because you're saying this thing, and then a lady, you say this thing to a lady, and then the lady says, that means this one is not going to be able to handle me. He's not strong enough. Do you understand? Because you have to present the tough guy approach. All of these things makes silence safer. It's safer to just be silent as a guy. But that's number one from the guy's perspective. The other one, from what you just said, is the gender dynamics involved. Women are not prepared to do the work. A lot of women want to go into the relationship for I'm going into this relationship because I want to be loved. I want guys to cover me. I've heard that in too much. They think they pay me now when I hear I want guys to cover me. You understand? Do you understand? But there's this part. There's this part that I needed to speak to is that if you are going to go as a lady, if you're going to go into a relationship, right, that is endearing, long lasting, real relationship with a man, then you need to be able to answer the question, what help am I bringing to him? Some men don't need, to them, okay, if you say, oh, the man has money, yeah. But money is not a need to some men. Some men just need a safe space. I'm out there all through the day doing, I want to come back home and it's like an oasis. So the question is, women, when they are thinking about relationship, what is the help that you are bringing to the man in the relationship? The Bible says it this way. I will make you a help suitable for him. Each man has help suitable. So, and if you ask 80% of the men, the help they need is peace of mind. I remember the last couples we went to last month, right? And you're asking, and you're asking a cross section of couples, what is the one thing that as a man that you will want your wife to do? And 80% peace of mind. So the question is, what does peace of mind mean to a man? It's that safe space that we are talking about.
So-
That safe space.
Peace-
So I sorry, because the question he just asked is very pertinent, and I had it in mind to actually talk about a number of things concerning this, because, like he said, my peace of mind, or what I can interpret as peace of mind, might not be the same thing KJ would interpret as
Yes.
peace of mind.
Yes.
Very true.
And that is where I'll highlight the following points. Number one, ladies, you've heard from us now that we are looking for safe spaces, or we want our peace and all of that. Bear in mind that you need to, just like love languages, you need to understand and find a way to get it from the man, what safe space means to him. Because for some men, the moment where, even someone like me, when I'm stressed, don't ask me to tell you what it is about at that moment. I need to be left alone. I need to process it. You understand? For some other men, when they come back home and they are looking, they expect you to tell them, to ask them, like, what is it? Okay, just run it by me and all of that. So don't go trying to use one medicine to cure general.
You have to understand.
You have to understand the man. Then, for the men, you need to also, or we need to understand when we meet women that, sometimes it's as if they are not being your safe space, and you're looking at it that intentionally this lady doesn't want to be your safe space. Don't forget, she possibly grew up in a home where the father was never vulnerable. She never saw the parents
She didn't
or
know.
the mom being, it had always been that comforting mom. It had always been, somebody from the father's side died. Is the man that is like, no, God will be. You understand? Such a woman cannot automatically know how to be your soft space. She cannot be automatically equipped with the skills necessary to handle it. So, what am I saying in essence? For the guys, let's learn to give them some level of grace. If personally, I feel we should learn to express ourselves in 2025 at least. You understand? If you think she's not getting it right, speak to her. Some of them are willing to learn. Some of them actually want to be. Just like Mama Bature said, that's how did she even put it? That it's not as if the men don't want to be vulnerable. The same way some ladies, it's not as if they don't want to entertain your vulnerability. It's just that they just don't know how to. But I would advise, like while he was speaking, it just came to my mind, please, whatever you need to know about the guy, whatever you need to learn,
Yes.
let it be at your relationship stage. I have a personal take, very personal, so it might not be, thank God we have other people that can actually share. Until you found someone who you are sure you can be vulnerable with, please don't go into that marriage.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Remain in the relationship because you're
Don't
meant
even go
to
into that
be.
relationship.
No, you can be in
No,
the
you can
relationship
be
at the
in
beginning
the
time. Just like I said earlier,
yes.
where you're learning the ropes, where you're learning to. That's what courtship is about.
Yes.
You understand? How do I adapt? There is a compromise to be reached.
Yeah.
There's adaptation and all of that. How do I shift grounds to be able to accommodate this man's vulnerability? How do I shift ground to be able to, even when she's not exactly making it safe for me, how do I tolerate it, or how do I accommodate it so that she gets into that place where she can give me that lapse to lay my head on when you understand, and all of that. But until you achieve that, don't. It's one of the signs you should look out for. Until you find someone you can be completely vulnerable with, I don't think you found a bone of your bone. The Bible said that they were both naked.
Not
They
ashamed.
were not ashamed.
Not ashamed.
Yeah.
They were not ashamed meant they were vulnerable completely, and they had nothing to hide. I thought I should. Just
I like to say that people who are single, what you are experiencing as a single person, by the time you get married, there are so many other dimensions of life that you will now be exposed to, plugged into, right? So if you cannot find someone that can deal with you and cope with you and accept you and welcome you when you're single and the issues are,
Basic.
imagine, how do you now think that that person will be able to
Handle.
accommodate you when you are
When the
when
issues
you're
are
dealing with
tertiary.
all of this?
Well, from
Do you understand? Because I mean, when you're single, okay, you're dealing with maybe how much money do I have to meet my basic needs? I can easily call for help and people will answer me because I'm single or I'm still a student or something like that. What else? Maybe health challenges here and there, stuff, but it's small, right? It's you.
When
It's
you're
about
married
you.
now.
By the time you get married,
And there are other
you know,
complexities.
the
There are
complexities
children.
from wife, complexities from children,
Children from
complexities
in-laws.
from career, complexities of now. Before, if you were broke, okay, I can manage myself 1 meal a day. But when there are 2 people, 3 people depending on you,
But it
and broke,
becomes
it
ment-
become, do you
it
understand?
becomes
Pressure becomes
mental,
much.
mental health. It becomes
True.
mental health
Confusion
issue.
with all of that.
Yeah.
And then just because you are married, some people expect you should be able to handle this. So, for
Yeah.
instance, you now have to start contributing in different communities, in family group, village group, church group, different groups, because they're expecting that as
PTA.
a married man, you have come PTA. They're expecting as a married man or a married woman, you have come into some level of capacity. So extra burdens, extra pressure, extra everything. So if you cannot come to your spouse and say, this is it. If you cannot come to your spouse and vent about something that is happening outside, or come and cry about something or something someone did, or just come and say, I don't know what to do. If you cannot come to your spouse, oh,
And you see,
it will not be funny.
so this is part of why these different levels of friendship, different levels of relationship are important, and friendship is one very critical level. I seem to be seeing that in 2025, friendship is becoming a lost art or a dying art, right, in relationships, because friendship is actually that place where you have the opportunity to find out these things that Uchi was talking about, right? Most people just meet somebody, like somebody, and then they jump into a relationship where they begin to go to places. Some people are doing marriage in a talking stage, right? They are doing things that belong in other circles of relationship in the talking stage. Now, you just need you need to get your life well. Just what my wife is talking about is the fact that a lot of people have not learned. They've not learned certain things that need to help them as men or as women. For us men, there are certain things you need to learn, right? In how to be able, you need to learn, you need to be very clear on your identity. Who are you as a man? You need to be very clear on your social awareness. How do people see you? How do you want people to see you as a man? Do you understand? And when you are clear on that, it doesn't matter who misunderstands you. That's their cup of tea, because you are clear on who you are. You also have to look at what's the state of your mental health as a man, right? How do you deal with anger? How do you deal with burnout? What's your recipe for when you have reached the end? Do you even know when you have reached the end of the line? Do you understand? These are critical issues that men need to pay attention to. Without a woman, you don't even need a woman. These are things that you find on the journey of personal development, which I say every man must take. So when we began Man Cave and we're talking about things that we do with men, these are some of the things that we're talking about. Every man has to go through that journey and understand it. Do you understand? Look at your identity. Well, I've talked about who you are. I've talked about your mental state. You also need to look at where are you going. What's your vision as a man? What kind of man do you want to be? Right? Now, why these questions seem to be very important is because if you deal with who you are internally, it doesn't matter what forces come from external. You are going to be safe in yourself. That's the only time when you can create a safe environment for someone else. Because broken people break others.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So I was gonna ask a question that I feel like you've already answered. Yeah, I think you've already answered because there are women who have tried and ended up getting broken. in the process of saying, "Oh, I don't want to just throw away this guy just because he seems to be closed up. I think maybe I can try." And then
Oh.
in the process of trying, they ended up getting broken because these men have accumulated stuff that did not even come from them, right? I've seen this trend, a number of men
Oh,
who maybe even their past, you start to see that you're paying for what their girlfriend did before.
yes,
So,
yes.
and it didn't start from that girl. It started from their dad or their mom or
Exactly,
somewhere,
exactly.
right? So I was just gonna ask you that how can men deal with, how can we get men to understand the reality of their mental health,
Okay.
of their emotional, psychological states,
I,
and
I,
that
I
they
think
are human,
I think I can
right?
take that very clearly because I had a lady walk into my office, right, and she was beginning to share something. She was beginning to share some of these things, and it was quite an experience because she actually has been quote and unquote a support for the guy, right? She has been a support for the guy, but here where they're going at this point, she was at the end of her rope, and the guy was not getting any, he was not doing any better.
Yeah.
So she's asking, how long should I hold on? Right? How long should I hold on? And I had to say to her, the only problem with what has happened here is that you have given the benefits of a marital relationship to a talking stage or acquaintance relationship. These things that you have given should not have been given in the first place. That's why the lady was tired. That's why the lady was feeling like I'm at the end of my rope. There are certain things you don't give to certain levels of relationships. There are certain things you don't give, otherwise you will burn out, right? So I was saying to her, the friendship stage, when you find somebody that you like, right? When you find someone that you like, as a lady, when you find a guy that you like, but you feel, oh, this guy is closed off, or there's some things that these guys need to deal with, you need to point the guy in the direction of a solution. If he takes the solution, then you guys can continue with your journey. If he does not take the solution, look for another guy. I'm being very practical here, because and you can actually turn away from him in terms of looking at him as my end game, but he can still be your friend.
Yeah.
Because that friendship permits you to find out a bit more. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Find out a bit more. It is when you have now found out and you say, from what I can find out, this guy looks like what I'm looking for. But is he willing to work on